Hello. Welcome back to 9 Little Aussies and our 100 Days of Homesteading series. My name is Chrissy and today I'm in the kitchen with my daughter and we are going to make some freshly milled flour treats. So we have been in the process of converting a lot of our baking and our breads and things to using the grain mill and the freshly milled flour. So this recipe is for chocolate brownies and they're kind of healthy because they're using the freshly milled flour, but they're kind of not because they also have quite a bit of sugar in them. So I'm not going to make the claim that these are healthy, but they are. This is just part of us trying to go through this process of learning to use the freshly milled flour in more and more of the products and things we're making. And I'm making a treat for the kids today, which is chocolate brownies. So come along and join us while we cook. So Gracie is just measuring out the sugar we need, which it takes 3 cups of sugar, which to me that's a lot of sugar. But anyway, we're gonna just roll with it because it's the recipe we're using. I am using this recipe book. I will show you. This is Sue Becker's book, the Home Ground Flour book, and it does have a ton of recipes. And I've already made a couple and they were delicious. Earlier this week, actually, not last week. Earlier this week I made apple muffins and we took them, we had a couple of excursions this week for homeschool and we took them with us and they were delicious. I used the soft white wheat for that one, which is again what we're using for this.
Do we put it in here?
Yes, you can put it in there. 3 cups. So this is the chocolate brownie recipe on page 241 in her cookbook. So that's what we're using. Okay, while Gracie does that, I have our bucket here with our soft white wheat in it, and I'm going to mill a couple of cups of flour. I'm going to turn my mill on, pull it out a little. So Gracie is just melting some butter, which is 2 sticks of butter in the American terms, or 1 cup of butter. And we are bubbling away some broth, but that's got nothing to do with the brownies. So the recipe calls for 2 cups of soft white wheat. If I was converted, this recipe is written for milling with whole grains. If I was converting a recipe that maybe just used all-purpose flour, or what we call in Australia plain flour or self-raising flour, then I would need to maybe add a little bit more of the soft white. That's my understanding. Now I am just learning this, but my understanding is from everything I've read and seen with other recipes is that the soft white, you need a little bit more of it than a recipe where you might be using hard white wheat or spelt or one of the other grains. So, but this one's already written for it, so I don't need to worry. It just says 2 cups. So I've just washed 4 ducky eggs. Our ducks are laying like crazy, but they have a habit of laying in the most gross, filthy spots they can possibly find. The chicken eggs are nice and clean, but I'm having to wait and then wash the duck eggs right before I use them because they're so filthy. So anyway, I've given them a wash and we'll crack them into a bowl. Gracie's going to crack the eggs into the bowl. Now they have a harder shell than chook eggs.
Yeah.
Good girl, pull it up, thumbs apart. it. Turn it upside down. You don't have to separate them. We want the whole thing.
Yeah.
We want the whole thing.
I know.
You just like doing that, don't you?
Mhm.
That's fine. Don't worry if there's a tiny little bit left. Very good. One more to go.
Big one.
Yeah, and the egg white is a slightly different consistency with duck eggs, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's not as runny. All right, there's our eggs. Okay, Gracie's just going to put the melted butter into the saucepan. Yeah, just tip it all in. Let it drip for a minute. That's fine. Okay, put it over in the sink, and then we need to tip the sugar in and give it a mix.
Yeah.
And then use the whisk. Yep.
This is gonna melt the sugar.
Yes, it will a little. So we're going to mix that around and around until it's all mixed in.
Yeah. It looks like, what does this look like? Looks like lemony sugar. Or when you're having
Like lemon butter? It does look a little bit like lemon butter. Is that what you were thinking?
like it's yellow, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
lemon, and then it's sugary like sugar. So when we're having pancakes.
Oh,
with-
how we put lemon and sugar on pancakes?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. All right. I'm going to add one egg at a time, and you keep mixing. Okay, so mix that one in really good, and then I'll add the next one.
Getting on me.
That's okay. It'll
This
wash
is hard.
off. You're doing good.
And this one egg yolk, finally. Now, what does it look like? It's too yellow to look like sugar.
You're doing good. And do one more, and
So it's a bit more than one.
yeah, that one's cracked, but that's okay. We don't have to be that exact.
The eggs just. Oh, you want to play it like that, or? Yeah. There.
Next thing you need to do is get 2 cups of the flour. So you measure out 2 cups. Oops, make sure flatten them up.
This doesn't feel like normal flour at all.
It is a bit different, isn't it? Okay, that
And you
one.
can see some of the milk.
Much better for our bellies. And see the other one. Don't make it empty, concave. Not empty, but yeah. All right, we'll try that. And then we need a cup of, no, not yet.
Oh, okay.
So this is our baking powder.
Tablespoon?
I think it said a tablespoon. Let me check. Yes, a tablespoon of baking powder.
Now this kind of looks like normal flour, but it isn't. It's nothing like normal flour.
You having trouble getting it flat? Good girl. I'll tip it back in. Yep, one of those. And then a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of salt. Right here.
Teaspoon, 1 teaspoon.
Yep, nice and flat. That's it. And then a cup of cocoa. That's quite a bit of cocoa. Yes.
How much is in there?
So what I'll do, that's probably about a cup. Put the cup over there and just try and hold it, and I'll tip it in. We have been having trouble finding cocoa lately, haven't we? Now just, no, don't, hang on. I don't want to scrape it into there if you're going to scrape it off. We don't want to waste it.
Okay, that's enough.
Let me just see, please. Yeah, that's about a flat cup. All right, now give it a big mix, and then we'll add in a tablespoon of vanilla, is what it says.
Ooh.
So we have got this all mixed. It's a nice thick batter. We've greased this pan with butter, and we might put a little bit of baking paper in it, and then we're going to pour it in, and we've preheated the oven to 350 degrees, which is 350 Fahrenheit, which is 180 Celsius. Hey, where are you going with that? Okay, so that is going to go in the oven. I have just pulled this out of the oven. I cracked it a little bit there when I was testing it. It actually, I had to keep it in for 10 more minutes than it said. Probably just my oven. And I'm going to let it cool completely before we cut it open. I just came in from milking the cow. The children are not here this evening, but I thought I would just show you before we go, and I'll try a little piece of this. It actually looks really good, and it tastes, well, I haven't had a big bite, but I had a little crumb and it was yummy. So I think that's probably a nice way to end the day, don't you? Milk's in the fridge, buckets are washed, dinner's done for when the kids get home. I'm just going to try a little snacky piece of this yum fudge brownie. Okay. Looks really moist, is what it looks. It is very moist and delicious. It's very sweet. It's very sweet and very Moorish, and definitely can't really, I wouldn't have been able to tell that it was made with freshly milled grains, but it's very tasty. So if you want a treat, not necessarily an everyday thing, but a treat, this is really nice. Maybe a birthday treat. This would be good for birthdays. Yeah, I think it would. Have to add this to the rotation for birthdays. Okay, I'm gonna finish my fudge brownie. It's very fudgy. She didn't actually call it a fudge brownie. She just called it chocolate brownies, but it is very fudgy and delicious. So, well, thank you for hanging out with Gracie and I today in our little farm kitchen. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next day of our 100 Days of Homesteading. We really appreciate you watching and tagging along with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Sunshine and raindrops, friends.